What I don't like about NAR as a whole is they love spending our money. See $46 million on Havas Marketing Group.
Oh, remember when they redid the R?
Yeah, they redid the R.
They made it like three-dimensional.
See this staff letter here. They're just like throwing things out. We're just going to like do this and do that. Hey, NAR, wake up. This is Byron, Lazine, and Nicole White, and you were tuned into episode 290 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
All right, we've got more demands that are up.
They're up.
From NAR employees this time.
Hopefully no one's sick of hearing about this. Here we are.
An anonymous group of NAR staff sends a list of demands to NAR leadership. Okay, it's getting real when your own is eating your own.
It's getting real.
They don't want their leadership in the same office or in the same group.
But they're all anonymous. We don't even know who these people are.
Yeah, we were talking about that before.
Before our recording didn't record.
Do you think anonymous are, a large percent or a small percent?
Right. I don't know.
And leadership always knows who anonymous is. They got ways of finding out.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
but again, I think if we're trying to become, like I was saying when we recorded the last time, like if we're trying to really make change and I think it's time for you to sort of come out, like show your face. Let's have open conversations about this. You want them to be open. You need to be open as well, right?
Yeah. So you don't like the anonymous.
I'm not a huge fan of the anonymous thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, especially because it's so obviously anonymous because they're saying an anonymous group. I just who are you? Let's chat.
You don't think that they're afraid that NAR leadership might retaliate down the road since this has been a cesspool of crime,
hell, man,
and accusations.
Now you can actually prove it, right? Like you're now retaliating against me because of a letter that I wrote.
So you'd rather just put your name on it, despite what's happened in the past.
Or maybe it's just like a group. Like does it have to be so anonymously specific? I don't know. I don't know.
You don't think if leadership stays, you don't think they'll remember who was part of this letter in 2 years if this fades away? In Succession when Logan...
really, every flipping time we're on...
I mentioned two episodes in a row. I mentioned it. By the way, if you missed last...
it's a shame if you missed it.
Week's Real Word pod, after this, you've got to go. We never go that long, but we had a really long pod.
Great. We probably could have gone a whole nother hour longer.
With Notorious R.O.B. It'll be linked up here. That was a pod, Real Word, special pod. You don't want to miss that one. But it's like in Succession.
Back to Succession.
When Logan says to
Which
Tom,
season?
I don't know, middle seasons.
Okay.
Only 4 seasons. When he says, when Tom's like, I'm going to go to jail for you. And then he didn't have to go to jail.
Yeah.
And he grabs his arm and goes, I'll remember this. Like he's banking one for later.
Right.
This could be reverse banking where they're banking, okay, I remember you were on this letter. I'm going to get you in 2 years.
I also feel like, though, if I want somebody to take it seriously, like getting a letter anonymously, that could even be somebody. Now I'm obviously going a little, I'm over exaggerating a little here, but it could potentially even be not even anybody from NAR, if you were to get an anonymous letter.
Let's go through it's a letter and a list of demands.
Of course it's from them, yes.
Shannon King, the NAR regional vice president, she presented a letter penned out by a dozen. So here's the number, a dozen internal staffers. So there's a pretty big staff, so small portion of staffers.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like much.
So maybe NAR leadership not really that worried about it because it's not a lot of people. NAR leadership was presented this letter at the group's executive committee meeting on Monday. This does sound like Succession. It's like, hey, we're having a board meeting, then bam, something comes out of nowhere.
Here we go.
Something comes and hits you.
Let's
the
go.
staffers behind the letter have chosen to remain anonymous due to the retaliatory environment in the workplace. So they are worried about this.
So they are worried about it. You're right.
Gotcha coming up in a year or two. All right, this letter was long.
Yeah.
It was very long. For a letter, it wasn't it wasn't a couple of paragraphs here. We are concerned, a group of concerned NAR staff and others continue to come forward every day. We represent all levels of management in both DC and Chicago. We are men, we are women, some tenured and some new to NAR. Mm-hmm. The one thing we all have in common is our belief that change cannot happen and healing will not begin until there is a accountability for those who allowed NAR to get to the place that it is today So that's how they start this letter.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very long, but let me just go and skip down to the bottom.
I think they've been listening to you here. I think they've been listening to the real word.
They might have been listening to me. They might have been listening to the NAR Accountability Project. Hey, if you're an anonymous penner from NAR and you listen to the real word, just put like a...
what, you're going to tell them how to not be anonymous?
Put a tennis racket emoji in the comments from a burner account.
From a burner account.
I want a full comment section on YouTube of tennis racket emojis. Okay. So this is what they're asking for specifically. Your support, and we demand the following. So this is demand. The immediate removal of Bob Goldberg, Donna Gland, Katie Johnson. Katie Johnson has been there a long time. Bob Goldberg, obviously the CEO. If necessary for the impending trials, retained for that purpose only, with no leadership or staff management responsibilities, nor role in the selection or hiring of the new CEO, CCO, and CMO. Okay, so they're looking to remove all of those 3 positions.
Yep.
And replace. Get the most out of our content by subscribing to BAMX. BAMX members get access to all of our courses, live streams, and our community, as well as our Hot Sheet daily downloads. It's literally coffee money to get in, and you get discounts to all of our events and our merch store, which is coming soon. If you're not a member of BAMX, you're missing out on the best content in real estate and the best access to practitioners and not pontificators in the space. There's plenty of them out there. Just look at NAR. Join BAMX today. Use code REALWORD to get 10% off. Use code REALWORD to get 10% off. The resignation of 2024 President Tracey Kasper as a primary contributor to the hostile work environment. So Tracey, who...
They're coming out guns blazing.
Kenny Parcell.
Yeah.
I think Notorious ROB last week said that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, he was...
Yeah. They were friends, by the way.
They are.
That came out on the pod.
It was very clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know each other.
But I'll let you keep going, and then I'll give you my 2 cents.
So they removed him and made the president-elect, who was going to be president in November anyways, Tracey Kasper, boom, immediate president. Doesn't have a lot of fans at NAR, it sounds like. We haven't heard anybody come up and be like, wow, Tracey's amazing. She's going to bring us to the next level.
Well, I think like you were saying, and like the Notorious ROB were saying, was that it can't possibly just be him.
Right.
He's being used as the scapegoat. So it's like...
for a systemic...
Yes. So like, because he was very, like, it's why he didn't want to touch on it, because he's like, this isn't about him.
Right.
This is about the entire organization.
So Tracey's...
And that's clear. This is 100% supporting that notion that it wasn't just him.
Tracey's been part of the club for a while.
Oh, for sure. They all have.
And so they're pointing her out. The own staff at NAR is pointing out the new president. She's got to go. We covered her video that she did 2 weeks ago, and neither of us were impressed. It was just very much...
It was words.
Elevator music and words.
It was long.
You go check out that pod too, 2 pods ago, if you're catching up on this story. They want to appoint John Pierpoint as interim CEO of NAR. So he's got some fans, at least 12 of them. As the new search commences, retain an outside independent HR firm for the staff. Now, that's something Tracey said they were looking at doing.
She did put that on the list, yes. So they're agreeing with that.
Retain outside legal counsel that staff chooses solely for the purpose of reporting claims when and if they continue or until trust is regained. Now, listen, for the 12 staffers, obviously, I'm in alignment with a lot of things I said, but they know how to spend our money.
They are great. I love spending other people's money, though, too. We should put in our demands.
How much the staff believes they produce money.
Yeah.
Just the way that they're putting this, like, oh, we want an independent legal counsel. We want this. We want that. Let's go. Let's go fly a jet.
I was watching the Bernie Madoff documentary.
This isn't their money. They don't produce anything. They don't make anything.
So that attorney that they hired to try to get all the money back from the people that like made a bunch of money.
Great documentary.
He made that attorney made billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like billions.
Well,
so that's essentially what they could do here too, is just invoice.
Look at all these lawsuits, the 2 big antitrust lawsuits for real estate. Remax just settled, and obviously before that,
the attorneys make all the money.
Nobody's making any money out of that.
The attorneys are making the money.
It's all attorneys. Okay, so they want to retain outside legal staff. They also want staff appointed representatives, one in D.C., one in Chicago, who act as the intermediary with the executive committee. Thank you for hearing our plea and your serious consideration. Tracey Kasper's, so their letter in total was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 paragraphs plus the bullet points that I just read to you. It was like a 10-paragraph letter. Her letter back was just a couple of paragraphs.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Just more words. Thank you for reaching out. Like you, I deeply care about NAR. We want everybody supported, satisfied, empowered, best work. I recognize this is a short reply to a lengthy note. That is simply because I wanted to come back to you promptly. You know, this is like ChatGPT. How should I reply to this? And slap it together. A few things stands out.
It's so weird. Like,
she says,
are we just emailing back and forth? Is that what we've come to?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on here.
I just don't get it. Why are we emailing back and forth?
She's committed to taking action to strengthen our organization. Those are just more words.
So far all we've got from her are words.
That's all we've got.
Yeah.
You have requested our serious consideration. Listen, you know what I don't like about NAR, the staff, which is in a tough spot.
Right.
What I don't like about the new presidents, what I don't like about the CEO and the 10 years, CEOs before Bob, what I don't like about NAR as a whole is they love spending our money. See $46 million on Havas Marketing Group.
Oh, remember when they redid the R?
Yeah, they redid the R.
They made it like 3-dimensional.
See this staff letter here? They're just like throwing things out. We're just gonna like do this and do that. Hey, NAR, wake up. You've never made anything in your life. You don't produce a product. So this really isn't your money. When are we going to consider the members who have been actually mistreated, who have been kind of pushed aside for years, and consider what we need to spend the money on? It certainly isn't legal counsel for staff.
So that they can feel like they have a say.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with them. Let's go clean house here on CEO and all this kind of stuff. But like 99% of our money needs to go in towards the fight towards buyer agency and protecting buyers in this country. Buyers and buyer agents right now. That's where the majority of the money needs to go, not to some of these other places. By the way, also last week, NAR was removed from the Great Place to Work list. This is from the work done by the NAR Accountability Project. Jason Haber, who we've talked about here. We talked about him last week on the pod briefly with Notorious ROP as well. According to the NAR Accountability Project, the folks at the Great Place to Work no longer consider NAR one of the best workplaces in the U.S. This is after receiving emails from NAR Accountability Project. NAR Accountability Project, if you're not familiar with it, has a 4-point plan, termination of NAR CEO, so in alignment with those staffers that wrote the letter, the release of all women from non-trade secret, non-disclosure agreements, the implementation of third-party HR, so also in alignment with the staff. Staff's taking some points from Accountability Project, a sweeping independent investigation by a law firm without prior ties to NAR. So a lot of similarities there between the staff letter. If you go on this global or on this Great Place to Work, they are the global authority. They're the authority on workplace culture. BAM is now the global authority on all relevant content in the real estate industry. And so if you're not a member of BAMX, do that immediately. Use code REALWORD. I think it's code REALWORD. It's down below to get 10% off.
We're making a new
We're just going to make the stance. We're the global authority.
Global authority. Why not?
On relevant media in all of real estate.
Global authority or like national authority?
The national authority of all relevant media in real estate.
I think you need to stick nationally. Yeah.
And Canada. Wow. Big Canada.
Yeah. Well, what's his name came down? Matt came down, didn't he?
Tom Story came down too. Tom Story at BAM Camp was, by the way, Nicole.
What? Tell me more.
I think you have a Real Word fan.
I do.
That went to BAM Camp.
Yeah, who's that?
So we did surveys.
Yeah.
Anonymous.
Jesus, anonymous.
We did anonymous surveys on what they like.
Like handwritten, or you did it like
handwritten.
I was just making. You guys are a global authority. I just wanted to make sure you were doing it electronically.
We had feather pens out at everybody's table.
They probably took them home.
They were deerskin since it was camp pens. And no, we did
it was a stick. They had to whittle the stick.
Did an email survey, and somebody wrote in, who they like speaker, it was about the speakers.
Yeah.
In that section, they wrote into the notes, I want Nicole White in all caps. Not in a creepy way.
That's
not in
so
a Kenny
funny.
Parcell way.
Like, what would I? What do they? I love that people think I have something
want
to
Nicole
add.
White as a speaker for the next one.
So funny.
Yeah, that was the real deal.
So fun. I mean, I'll host a party or something.
No, so what we did, if you haven't checked this out, go to @Knowledge Brokers Podcast. It's a separate BAM YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And we did a panel that was a live podcast. So the next one we would do.
So fun.
We will do. Let us know in the comments if you'd
like
like to see this.
a real word.
A real word live. Instead of doing a panel, a real word live pod.
But it was a panel. So did they ask questions?
No, so it was, instead of a panel, we just did our normal pod.
Oh, okay.
And then we did Q&A after the audience. So it became this like podcast. That was the podcast for the week too, by the way.
Yeah, no pressure.
And then Q&A.
Hopefully it was a good topic.
Well, we just covered our normal topics.
Yeah.
So what was happening that week
I mean, sometimes it's like we're pulling shit.
So, well, not thanks to NAR. No, we're not. Not at all. No, like, that show's more economy based. So you got everything going on with Jerome Powell and everything like that. So we covered that. Then we covered, objections to fight through what's going on right now. So tried and true scripting with Tom Toole. Yeah. Then we went Q&A. It was actually really fun.
Sounds fun. It sounds like all of it was lovely.
We could do something like that for the real word for the next one.
It sounds like it was very interactive and your audience was very much a part of it.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Okay, that's the
I noticed
real
your
word here.
chairs didn't match, though. That was bothering me.
Matching. Well, that was the Ritz.
Yeah.
Send a letter. We'll let you do the Ritz survey.
Thank you.
The Tiburon Ritz.
I'll do that.
Very gracious host.
Sounds like it was lovely.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, let us know what you think on the staffer's letter for NAR. What changes do you want? Let us know in the comments. Put a racket if you are an
staffer.
Yeah, an anonymous staffer.
We won't tell.
We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Keep it real.